This video is intended for intermediate algebra students regarding multiple methods for solving equations. Solving equations can be generalized into three different methods. The three methods are rewriting, undoing, and looking inside. Rewriting is the first method we will look at, and that is the one that typically is most familiar to students. When you are solving this equation, the first thing that you've been taught is to go ahead and distribute the 4 to get rid of the parentheses. This is called rewriting because you are changing the appearance of this equation. From here, we can go ahead and finish solving for x. And when doing so correctly, you should end up with x equaling 2. The next method that we are going to look at is the undoing method. The reason that this is called the undoing method is because you are going to undo the operations that are involved in this equation. So when I look at this equation, I see multiplication because of the group of parentheses, and I also see addition. When you're using the undoing method, you are going to work outside in. So I'm going to first start with the most outside piece in my equation, and that's the 4. That 4 is being multiplied, so I'm going to go ahead and undo that multiplication using division. When I divide both sides, that means I'm going to end up with the quantity of x plus 3 equaling 5. And again, I'm going to undo the addition, so I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides, leaving me with x equaling 2. Adding and subtracting undo each other, multiplying and dividing undo each other, but just a side note, whenever you have something being squared, to undo that, you do the square root. The last method is called looking inside. Now this one is mainly geared towards those that like to use a lot of mental math, and they visualize these equations differently than most individuals. Students will see this problem as 4 times 5 equaling 20. So what that means is that the stuff in the parentheses has to equal 5. So they will set the interior equal to 5 and solve for x. Again, this is geared more towards those individuals that like to do mental math. Be careful when using this method because when negatives are involved, you have more room for errors and making mistakes. Here are 3 examples using the 3 different methods. So if we first take a look at letter A, if 3 plus 4n minus 4 equals 12, then 4n minus 4 equals 9. What this person is doing is using the looking inside method. They are realizing that 3 plus something has to equal 12. Well, that means whatever that is has to be 9. So they're taking those set of parentheses and setting it equal to 9 in order to solve for the variable. This second example, they're going ahead and taking the equation 3 times the quantity of x minus 7 plus 4 equals 23, and their first move is subtracting 4. In this example, they are using the undoing method. They are first undoing the operation that is the furthest away from their variable, and in this case, it's the plus 4, so that is why they are subtracting 4 from both sides. This last example, they are going ahead and using the rewriting method. They are using the distributive property in order to get rid of those parentheses. These are your 3 methods in solving equations.